Good evening, folks. Today we are going to be going over the concept of brakes. How do they work, what are their parts, and how to identify them. Alright, well today we're going to start with disc brakes. Disc brakes are the primary brakes in the front of the vehicle, and they are the more modern brakes. They were developed originally for airplanes back in the day because they dissipate heat better. And I'll go into that later. But let's go over to some disc brakes so we can explain it. Alright, this right here is our common disc brake that you see on an ordinary vehicle. They went from drum brakes to disc brakes many years ago for the purpose of, right here in the middle, there are slots, and it allows the air to pass through, cooling this disc down, making where you can stop better, and nothing's retained in here, so that way you have better control when you're driving, especially when you're stopping. And you have a few main parts in here. You have your disc, of course, you have disc brakes, so you have a disc. You have your mounting bracket, this piece right here. It goes around like this, and it's held together by two little bolts back here. And this right here, it connects to the main plate back here, and it goes around the disc, and it gives you a place for your caliper to mount. And your caliper is a piece of machinery in which uses brake fluid, and it pushes piston or pistons like this. And you have brake pads. And brake pads, they squish against this disc right here, allowing your vehicle to completely stop. And the pressure itself, whenever you step on the brake pedal, it pushes brake fluid out into these lines right here. And it pushes into here, into this caliper, pushing this piston this way. And when it pushes this way, that brake pad is contacting this disc, creating heat. But if the heat is dissipated, and that friction allows your vehicle to stop. And that is the concept of the disc brake. Good. We are going to fix this. This right here, this drum brake is in pieces. As you can see, we got nothing here. If you try to take this on the road, it's very unsafe. You got all these pieces everywhere, and the drum are just sitting right there. So today we are going to fix this and make it road worthy. Alright, so I'm going to begin by putting the shoes on. The shoes right here are the most important and crucial part of the brake system, because without the shoes, nothing's going to rub against that drum. Because whenever you stop the vehicle, these literally rub against this, and that's how your vehicle stops. So without these, you ain't stopping, and you're going to continue going and potentially hurt somebody. So we are going to put them on. So right here, I'm going to put it right in here down at the bottom. Get this one in position, so that way it'll go ahead and go on. So get these little slots. These are a little pain, so forgive me. And now it's just right there. But keep in mind, we also got our lever right there. We got to have that above. So now, I'm going to get our star wheel adjuster. Our star wheel adjuster is what keeps the tension on the brakes. This right here will turn like that, and it'll push these brakes out, so that way these can expand and touch the drum, so you can stop your vehicle. And that little lever is actually what holds it. It keeps it from spinning backwards. Because you don't want this to happen when you're stopping. Now you don't have brakes. So I'm going to go ahead and put it right here just like this for these brakes. Give me just a second. And that is that. Now we need to get our return screen. Now when the brakes are out like this and they're pressed out and they're pressing against the drum, they need to come back, because if not, you're going to have forever brake supply. And if that happens, it could really hurt you or somebody else. And we don't want that. So we're going to put this on. This return screen is expanded like this. And whenever you let go of the brake pedal, it pulls back in. So it does that with the brake shoes. So we're going to put that in. So got a little slot back here. And I'll need a pair of pliers for this one. This can be a little bit of a pain. Just so that way I can get a little bit extra pulling, because these are pretty strong, stronger than me. So, bang, right there. Now, we need to connect this to the piston. The piston is right here. The piston, brake fluid goes through the brake line, goes through the piston, and it pushes two little things out right here. And these are what actually push this apart. Bring in the camera and focus it right here. Now, as this adjusts, It may not want to work. All right, there you go. You see it? See how it's pushing? How it's expanding it? That's exactly what this does. And that's how it adjusts to what your vehicle needs. Because as time wears on, it needs to be able to keep it. So, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get it reflected. Bang. Now, we got 4 pieces that need to go on. Actually, technically 3. We have our anchoring pin. Anchoring pin, spring, and cup. The pin goes through this, right here like this. And the spring goes over it, and the cup goes on, and it locks. And the purpose of this is, you don't want these wiggling. You don't want these going anywhere, because if they go somewhere, you're going somewhere. It may be a ditch, and we don't want that. So we want you to be safe when you're driving. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in. So I got that in there. I'm putting the spring on. And then I got my handy little tool here. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on. A little more. Because whenever you do it, you never want to have it where it'll escape. You always want to have it, if the hole's like this, you want to have the pin just like that. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and do the other side. I'm going to stick through the hole in the back. Put the spring on. Put the cup on. Forgive me, this thing to be a little bit of pain too. Oops. You can also match it up too. If the pin looks like that, you can make the hole like that too, and it makes it a little bit easier when putting it on. There it goes. Sweet. All right, now we were just about done. Now that all the brake system is on there and it's correctly put together, now it's time for the next big important piece, the drum. Because if you don't put the drum on there, these are going to push out, and what's it going to push against? Now you don't have brakes. So, we got our drum on there, and now our tire is ready to go on. This is a completed brake drum. Thank you.